Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, kings and queens of the land. Good afternoon to the liberated zones in Africa. Good afternoon to the Sahel states, Burkina Faso, led by President Ibrahim Traore. Mali, led by President Assimi Goita. Niger, led by President Abdurrahman Tian. Good afternoon to KZN, liberated zone in the British colony, South Africa, under the leadership of President Zuma, liberating South Africa from Queen Elizabeth II. President Zuma leading the MK party. Good afternoon to KZN. My name is Ngoni Mkhonto. This is the royal opinion. Today we are talking about the declaration that the MK party has made in support of Ibrahim Traore. We're talking about what the MK party has called yesterday. It was the 27th of April in South Africa, marks Freedom's Day, what they call Freedom's Day. So, yesterday, South Africa was celebrating what they call Freedom's Day. Let me once share this video so that we can start nicely, because I just want to talk about what the message.
Amanda, Manda, awethu, ufike ekhaya ubatshele, ufike ekhaya ubatshele, la ngishiye khona. Hey, Mahlathini, Tanzania, ufike ekhaya ubatshele. Ngishiye khona, hey, Mahlathini, selusaka, awuthabatha nansi AK, shaya ubulale, zonke lezinja zanamapuno, awuthabatha nansi phazuka, shaya ubulale, zonke lezinja zanamapuno, Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo, usibambo ngasiyekele, wethu. Kwaza mkhonto kwaza. Sihole msholozi sihole. Sihole msholozi sihole. Viva MK Youth League, viva. Viva MK Women's League, viva. Viva MK Student Movement, viva. Comrades, bingelele, our Supreme Leader, Ubaba Msholozi, ngibingelele i-High Command, ngibingelele comrades, abantu abasha, ngithi viva mntu omusha, viva. Ngibingelele comrades, amakhosikazi, viva Mbokodo, viva. Ngibingelele abelaphi bendabuko, viva abantu bendabuko, viva. Ngibingelele comrades, ama-disabled, umkhonto wesizwe party, kwaza lapho kwaza. Maqabane ngibingelele iParliament le-national ne-legislature yala eGauteng, and comrades all protocol observed. Maqabane si-MK Youth League comrades sithe namhlanje ake simise ama-program esinawo size la comrades sizohabula sikwazi ukuthi umzabalazo comrade ungani. Sazi comrade ukuthi abasuka ngemuva kwethu abasacrifice nje sesikwazi namhlanje ukuba ne-freedom kwenzakalani kuphi umzima abadlula kubona. Athe comrade Msholozi umethi kuthina ngoDisember 16, 2023 ukuthi uyaqhubezela manje umzabalazo kwawulwelwa uSolomon Mahlangu. Sajoyina as young people comrades. So kumaqabane silapho ukuzosho cha i-MK Youth League comrades, i-MK Youth League ngezifani namanye ama-organization abantu abasha. This is the Youth League comrade ezohluka emphakathini la ngaphandle maqabane. And comrades i-youth le maqabane ezokwenza okufunwa ubaba uMsholozi, engeke iyenze ongafunwa ubaba uMsholozi. So noma ungasithatha uyosithengela utshwala, sizokuthatha sikudayise sendiphoqe ne-MK party. Sengivala comrades ngoba ngisafocate-ile maqabane kumina ngino-2 minutes. Uma ngendalo ngizokhishwa la. Comrades, i-MK Youth League maqabane iqale i-campaign yokuthi where is our vote. We remember comrades ukuthi last year uMsholozi waya ka-IEC ethi kubona bamusa uku-issue out ama-results. Now as the MK Youth League sithi thina-ke akukwazi ukuthi umholi wethu umethi sintshontshelwe. I-youth mesiyathula nje. Kufuneka kubonakala ukuthi ikhona i-youth. Siyacela ukuthi G ayilungise imali ebheli ngoba semgaqweni maqabane manje. And comrades, we want to warn comrades to IEC in our government ukuthi in this country conditions determine comrades. In 1961 conditions determined ukuthi kube khona i-MK military wing. In 1976 condition determined ukuthi kube khona i-uprising yabantu abasha, which uKalush was part of it comrades. In 1990 comrades condition determined ukuthi i-ANC yayibuye i-unbanned in this country. 1994 condition determined ukuthi there must be a democratic will kuvotwe. Fast forward 2021 July condition determined ukuthi abantu bakithi were not happy ngohulumeni ebopha umholi wethu balishisa izwe. Now we're sitting at the MK Youth League mentioned
The war rhetoric. The war rhetoric is growing in South Africa. The MK party representing the majority of black South African. The young people saying they are going to the streets to demand the votes that were stolen by the IEC given to the white parties. President Zuma, during the voting, announced that the IEC should not dare and announce the results, but because of arrogancy did not understand that President Zuma is the elector of himself. He's not elected by any person. He's the elector of himself and is the appointer of everybody. People did not understand when he said the IEC should not announce the result. Now the conditions on the ground are favoring that South Africa should, the young people should go to war. The war rhetorics are in the air. Let me play this one.
And I think it's important, especially in light of the fact that they've also played a key role during campaigning. Let's also acknowledge them accordingly. Thank you. Comrade Deputy Chair.
Amandla, Amandla, Matla, Viva MK Party, Viva, Viva MK Party, Viva, long live Spilele, Ngamalala Spilele, Sohole, Ngamalala Sohole, long live Spirit of Solomon, Kalushi Mahlangu, long live. Long live Spirit of Kalushi Mahlangu, long live. Commanders and commissars, revolutionary greetings, Comrade President, National High Command, national officials, Navase Parliament, Namakusi, Bayete. Mbulise, military veterans and ex-combatants. Kumkhonto wesizwe party ukomanda Mahlangu beyikomanda yabo kodwa manje ngeke ngize ngikhulume ngehistory ngizawukhuluma ngocomrade upresident uGedlihlisa Zuma. Comrades, ngo-1962 ucomrade uZuma uye waboshwa because of ama-sabotage beyimember yama-first units aka-1961 waboshwa wayenza 10 years waphuma waya e-exile eSwaziland. Nalapho eSwaziland amabhunu amlandelela naseMozambique amlandelela bayenza lento bayibiza ukuthi inkomati accord. Then enye agreement ukuthi uComrade uZuma simfuni la eMozambique. Amabhunu awakhuluma nabo Samora Machel lapha yana. Comrades, uComrade uZuma lengizomsukumisa manje. Beka imember ye-National Executive Committee ye-ANC e-exile aku-high command yomkhonto wesizwe beka HQ and beka responsible for political intelligence and combat units operations. Kusho ukuthi uComrade upresident uproduce ama-leaders nama-heroes amaningi inside the country, and one of them uSolomon Kalushi Mahlangu. uComrade upresident uZuma akabakhohlwa amasoja wakhe, uyawahambela noma kakuphi noma afike endaweni uyaya khona lapho. Kusho ukuthi akathi yena imember ANC, kusho ukuthi namhlanje si-celebrate senza i-lecture ngoCommander Mahlangu, Kalushi Mahlangu. Ngapha bathi Freedom Day. Ngicela nibheke lapho makhomanda ukuthi le political management lena ebe basinika yona ngo-94 ayisasebenzi. And then futhi commanders i-youth league yakhuluma yathi apha amavote wethu sazowakhipha ama-commands makhomanda ukuthi kuzoliwa vele South Africa ngoba basirobha, basenza abantwana bathi screens besicimile kodwa sihamba ngaphansi. Kanjani? Ngoba besiphezulu sitholile 2/3. Uma singalwi comrade bazodlala ngathi and isikhathi sesifikile. Ngiyabona esahili kwenzakalani comrade la eSouth Africa manje. Commanders and commissars makuliwe Mapliwe. Thank you, comrades. Ngicela ucomrade upresident aze ngaphambili.
This is a declaration of war. Those who can't hear the language, the speaker who was introducing President Zuma is saying, "Let us go to war. Let us go to war to fight for our votes." The Youth League have already declared the MK party is intensifying its efforts to gain access to power. The MK party has won, has previously accused the IEC of robbing the elections, and the IEC responded by continuing to declare the results and put President Ramaphosa or continuing to declare a coup, as we can say, because they did not really win the elections. It was a coup, an organized coup, which helped them to take over and inaugurate President Ramaphosa. Now, the MK party is not disappointing the people, because the MK party has promised that they will fight for these votes until to the end. The MK party is continuing to say they want the IEC, they want the case to go to court for the IEC to bring back the votes which were stolen from the MK party. So this is war which has been already declared. In actual fact, I have previously predicted, not actually even predicted, I have previously said that there won't be the MK party will not be able to take, or black people will not be able to take the land from white people by just voting. I said it before that the MK party will not be able to take the land by just voting, because these people, the white people, are criminals which we've been talking to since the past 500 years. Every part of the world, if you are alive today, nobody is not negatively affected by the presence of white people in the planet. Every part of the planet, including the animals, including the seas, the oceans, including the skies, were negatively affected. As we're speaking, the climate change issues which are caused by the systems of the economic developments or the industrial based economic revolutions that was brought by white people in almost every part of the world. If somebody is alive today, they have been affected negatively by these people, the white people. We have been trying to talk to them, to let the black people free for more than 500 years. It has never happened, and it will never happen through talks, that the white people can just give up our land and give us our economy. That was my prediction, that it will not happen. When the MK party won election, the MK party was robbed because they won't give the land. They know the MK party is going to expropriate land without compensation. So they wouldn't allow the MK party to take over the land by just voting. Obviously, they have all the money in the world, they've got all the influence, the organizations, the political organizations that are in cabinet in almost every part of the world. In South Africa, it's basically they're sponsored by them, It's basically the organizations which they have started. Most of those organizations are started by white people to defend their interests. So you can't expect that such a person whom you have been talking to for more than 500 years and he's been refusing. And let's understand how it is that did white people came to Africa and how did they treated the Africans when they came. When they came to Africa, they came as criminals. They came with guns. They, at gunpoint, they took the land. At gunpoint, they took the economy. At gunpoint, they sustained their economic gains from the land. Even today, at gunpoint, they're still sustaining their economic gain through the guns. They have brought in religious terrorism. Religious terrorism is when you tell people that if they don't repent to your religion, they are going to burn in hell forever. It's religious terrorism. They have brought in economic terrorism, which took away all the resources from the people. They have also brought in organized terrorism where they buy our own brothers to rise against the people, to just rise against the people for no reason. They have created Boko Haram to go and terrorize Nigerians. They have created all the negative elements. They've created ISIS. This is not an accusation or a lie. It's what Elon Musk has actually declared, that Boko Haram was funded by America. Even Donald Trump has declared that ISIS was created by America, which is a terrorist organization. France are sponsoring the terrorists in the Sahel states. So those are organized terrorism. They've committed cultural genocide against all the indigenous people of the world. If you can't do, if you don't want to join our culture, then we're going to destroy you. They have destroyed every indigenous people they have met in this planet. These are not reasonable people that you can sit down and talk to and they will understand. The only language they know is the language of the criminal. The language of the criminal is a gun. That's how criminals negotiate. They negotiate with their guns in their hands. If anybody think that we can defeat the criminals who came and at gunpoint took the land, at gunpoint took the rivers, at gunpoint took the resources, the minerals, at gunpoint took the animals, and you think you're going to negotiate through a vote and take the land, it's never going to work in that way. Black people need to be prepared to go to war. They need to be prepared to fight for what black people, what belongs to them. Let's hear President Zuma, what President Zuma had to say about, instead of celebrating Freedom's Day, President Zuma marks Solomon Mahlangu Day. He went to Pretoria in Mamelodi, where he met the family of Solomon Mahlangu. Solomon Mahlangu is a soldier who was hanged by the apartheid government because he was he was found to be a soldier, an MK soldier. So President Zuma was commemorating that because the MK party believes that there's no freedom to celebrate, and the MK party believes that there's no uh, liberation or economic freedom for black people to celebrate. That's why they actually uh, uh, commemorated Solomon Mahlangu instead. Uh, they indicated, the guy who spoke before indicated that the IEC decided to treat South Africans like children. They say the screens have switched off for 2 hours, and then when the screens switch off, all the people who were behind came forward magically. The screens during the elections, the screens just went off, just like that, because these people, they operate in a criminal way. They maintain their power through those criminal ways. In the DRC, the DRC, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the M23, which President Felix Tshisekedi tried to negotiate with, the Rwandan armies, which chased out President Ramaphosa and the South African army in the DRC, they were instructed by their handlers to withdraw their armies from DRC because America now wants to go and mine because they have an agreement. They bring terror in order to steal. If you don't agree to their stealing, they bring terrorism, because that's how they operate. They operate in terrorism, information terrorism. President Zuma was attacked through the information terrorism that these people are employing. Economic terrorism. That's what these people do. So you can't talk to such people and believe that they are going to give you an audience. And people that you've been trying to talk to for the past 5 years for the past 500 years without any progress. Let's listen to President Zuma.
Semlinge. Piole salesate. Piole salesate. Piole salesate. Piole. Siyabonga. Siyabonga bakwethu. Siyabonga, siyabonga, siyabonga. Siyabonga. Angibonge mphathi ohlelo kusinikeza ithuba ukuthi namhlanje esikhumbule iqhawe lakithi. Ngibonge kakhulu kuba khona kwabaholi phakathi kwethu. Sebebiziweke ngokuhlukahlukana. Ngeke ngisangiphinda. Bonke nje zonke izigaba zethu zomkhonto. Siphinde futhi sihloniphe amakhosi akhona. Sihloniphe nabelaphi bomdabu bakhona. Ebese sihlonipha wonke okhona okanye nathi namhlanje. Njengoba sikhumbula leli qhawe esikhathini esenza omunye umlando eSouth Africa. Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi sikwazile ukuthi sibe khona sonke ngala. Sikwazi ukuzokhumbula leli qhawe. Ekseni siqale kuleli jele elaqeda abantu. Libulala abantu bakithi abamnyama. Izibonakaliso ezikhona lapha kulela jele ezisodongweni lapho khona abantu bakithi abaningi abanqunywa intambo. Munye kuphela umlungu esimbonile kulaba esibabone lapha. Mhlawumbe ngoba bekunoqembu oludala ukuthiwa solwaze lwathi ucisha, mhlawumbe bakhona nalapha asazi. Kodwa munye simbonile nesixoxele indaba ngaye ukuthi wayemhlophe wajoin ANC underground, wayesebenzela iANC. Bathi abelungu uma bezwa lokho bambamba, bambona ukuthi ufanele ukuthi agwetshe intambo, wafa engazange abulale umuntu. Esivakashele lapha ngoba sifuna ukukhumbula lensizwa yalapha eSouth Africa eyiqhawe ngendlela esimanga phakathi kwamaqhawe amaningi. Sikwenze lokho ngezizathu ezibaleke kakhulu ngoba ukubonakala ukuthi inkululeko yethu ayikafike ekugcineni kusenze sonke esilwela inkululeko sibone ukuthi sisesebunzimeni. Uma izinto zinje, uma uyindoda wakhile kulabo abakholelwayo kwabadala, kuye kukhulunywe nabadala kuthiwe sincedeni nanku sibhekene nempi. Besenza lokho ke namhlanje kuleli qhawe lethu eladuma kakhulu ngezinto ezimbalwa ngokuthi kwakuyisosha elalingane kuna wonke amasosha. Kwakuyisosha elikhaliphile elinesibindi. Kwakuyinesosha elinganqeni lutho. Kwakuyinesosha elalazi ukuthi lajoyinelani. Lokho kutholakala emazwini akhe ngenkathi ebuzwa ukuthi ufisani njengoba esegqitshe intambo njena na. Wayesesha amagama amaningi siwaziyo sonke ukuthi ufisa ukuthi kube njani. Amagama ashiwe lensizwa ayemakhulu ngendlela eyisimanga. Uma walinganiswa ungalingana namagama ayishiwo abahola abadala uMandela, indlela ayibonisa ngayo ukuzimisela kwakhe ukuthi thina ndlemnyama sizikhulule. Ilanga ke leli elikhulu lokuthi simbungaze, simkhumbule, simcele futhi ukuthi asisize kulolu takati esibhekene nalo lokukhulula umuntu omnyama. Hayi ukuthi waye ilona sosha kuphela, maningi amasosha ayikhona, maningi awasale empini, namanje asekhona ayekhona kanye naye. Sengathi ulethile ilanga nje, ulethile isambulu. Ngiyabonga mfana kithi, ngiyabonga. Lokhu ukuthi kube khona ukuhlangana kwemoya phakathi kwethu kanye nomndeni waliqhawe kuyinto ekhulumayo, ngoba kuyasibonisa ukuthi sifike lapho khona singasathandi ukuthi ngisho inkululeko noma ibe khona ayiphelelanga, sisahlupheka namanje. Futhi mhlawumbe ukupheka sekwandile ukunoma kunciphe ngendlela ethile. Indlela emnyama ke njengoba iphelele ingaka nje ithi ngeke kuze kube sekugcineni sihlupheka. Ingakho ke sithe leli langa ake silikhumbule nje ngokugcwele okuthe swi. Jabula kakhulu ukuthi sifikile ngobuningi bethu democracy freedom. Yayingeke yenzeke lonto. Abekho abantu abathi ngokuzonda umuntu noma abantu ebese bemema amaphoyisa bawahlomise ngayo yonke indlela ukuthi akoba boyobulawa. Bangagcina lapho ngoba indle emnyama yathukuthela yama ngenyawo. Bathi noma ngasebona labo balapha enkandla asibabulala. Kwaphela abantu. Angiboni ukuthi ukhona umuntu ongathi sikhululekile thina abantu abamnyama siyabusa.
President Zuma mentioned one of the most important things that is revealed in this speech, which I have never heard him mention before, is that during the time when the Ramaphosa sent his armies and police to go and arrest him, there was a plan. There were soldiers in the mountains, soldiers in the forest, who were planning to eliminate anyone who's gonna resist Zuma from getting arrested. They even had a name. They already had termed it the Nkandla massacre. President Zuma agreed to be kidnapped or to be what is the English word? They agreed to be kidnapped by the mafia government to jail because he wanted to avoid the Nkandla massacre, because President Zuma did not do anything wrong, but President Zuma got arrested and he was not given any trial. He was never given any opportunity. In South Africa, they say in law there will be nobody who will be taken to jail without trial. Actually, in the whole world, it has never happened to anyone except during apartheid in South Africa. Even apartheid South Africa used to take people to court before they can send them to jail. It actually has never happened in South Africa that somebody was taken to jail besides Robert Sobukwe, who was detained by the apartheid government after he was supposed to be released. It has never happened anywhere in the world that somebody was taken to jail without trial. That's what happened with President Zuma in 2021. So today is giving a narrative that what was planned that day, it's called the Nkandla massacre. White people planned it and termed it the Nkandla massacre, which they wanted to do in KZN, and in the process eliminate President Zuma, in the process eliminating President Zuma, making sure that the struggle of black people will not succeed, because they knew that President Zuma is the most dangerous for their system. They have been persecuting President Zuma even during the time when he was president. He has never been given peace to rule or to make proper decisions. President Zuma, even today, the trial of something that happened over 25 years ago, President Zuma is still on trial. The things that happened, President Zuma has explained that what happened on the arms deal, he was not there. He was not even part of the committee that dealt with the arms deal. He was working in KwaZulu Natal. The people who done the deal, it's President Mandela and President Mbeki. Those are the people who did the arms deal. But it was a payoff for the British to allow President Mandela to become president of South Africa, because at that time it does not make any sense for anyone, for any government, while people are actually suffering. The government is just starting. The first thing that they do is to go and buy 45 billion worth of armies while they're actually in peace. They go and buy 45 billion rands worth of armies, which they are not going to use for anything. I don't even know whether those armies which were bought from Britain were delivered to South Africa. But at the end of the day, they say President Zuma is the one who stole the money, while President Zuma was not even involved in any single committee or in any way to influence anything in the even the greatest enemies of President Zuma, like Tulima Donsela, says she's surprised how do they link President Zuma to the arms deal. She's actually surprised, though she says the Kanda trial is the one that she stands by, but she's really surprised. How do you link Zuma to the arms deal? So, what he has revealed here, what is quite important, is the fact that there was a planned massacre by the state. That is what caused him to actually retreat from. That's what caused him to retreat. After noticing that they were going to eliminate quite a lot of people, should he continue with the fight, President Zuma decided to give himself up to be imprisoned for the sake of avoiding the killings which were gonna take place in Kandla. including him. It was going to be, his fate was going to be in that day. There would be many more. Black people would be afraid to even commemorate him, because all they want to see him to happen to him is for him to die as an accused person. You can't have a trial and you can't accuse somebody for 20 years without putting that person to trial. For 20 years, for more than 20 years, 25 years now, um, when he went to court last week, he said more than four witnesses have already died of the trial, because it's too long. 25 years, it's a long time. A lot of things have already happened. So what case are you going to present, while even some of the important witnesses that the state said were having, they have already died? Four of those people, because it took so long. It's because there's no case against President Zuma. His case is, or his sin is to elect himself, or to select himself as the savior of black people, the elector of himself. President Zuma elected himself to set black people free. He dared to take the route which the white people never thought could be explored, the road of unity, which needs a very intense economic power. But President Zuma, through his blessed uh, way of talking to people, he's able to organize with minimum resources, to organize black people to unite. White colonial masters have never faced black people united since they came to Africa. Let me share what uh, Floyd Chivambo said, who is the Secretary General of the MK Party, about Ibrahim Traore, about the people who want to eliminate Ibrahim Traore in the Sahel. Let's share.
Nelson Mandela, in Sarah Bartman, in Amatole, in Chris Hani, in O.R. Tambo, in Joe Kabi, in Buffalo City, in Alfred Nzo. There must not be a corner of this country that is not liberated. Comrades, we are done with KwaZulu-Natal. If elections were to happen tomorrow in KwaZulu-Natal, there is not a single municipality of the 44 municipalities which was not going to come to Umkhonto weSizwe. All of them. And that is the momentum that we must keep here in the Eastern Cape. And we are not doing that because we are self-seeking. We are not doing that because we want to pursue self-enrichment. We want to do that on behalf of the people. We want to do that because we want to bring about true freedom and emancipation for our people. Let's go out there, comrades, to speak to our people that we need true freedom for our people. And the only dependable and reliable vehicle to bring about true emancipation is Umkhonto weSizwe. So, comrades, that is the message that we are sending from the National High Command. And an emphasis that we make is that in our struggles for total emancipation, we are forming strategic, proper relationships with other anti-colonial forces in the world. So Umkhonto weSizwe openly and proudly associates with the Communist Party of China and the People's Republic of China. We associate with Russia, progressive against imperialism. We associate with Brazil, with India, here in the African continent. Our obvious friends is Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, who must not be touched by anyone. The era where the colonialists are going to kill our leaders has come to an end. So there is no one who is going to do anything to Ibrahim Traore. They could have done that to Patrice Lumumba and Thomas Sankara. They could have removed Sokoto Tore and Kwame Nkrumah, but they will not touch any of the African leaders. Not in our lifetime. We associate with the progressive governments of Mali, of Niger. We affirm the incoming government of Gabon as well, because there's a wave in the African continent to do away with colonialism. And the only force here in South Africa that represents the ideals of those anti-colonial forces is Umkhonto weSizwe. What the only anti-colonial movement that is going to bring about true freedom. That is not scared of colonial masters. That does not report to colonial settlers. There is not a single colonial settler who can claim anywhere that they control Umkhonto weSizwe. It's an organization that is controlled by its membership and is in pursuit of the interest of the people. Let's continue to fight, comrades, until we achieve victory, because victory is certain. Commander Moni, Amanda, Amanda, viva Umkhonto weSizwe, viva! Viva Umkhonto weSizwe, viva! Forward to total freedom, forward! Forward to total freedom, forward! Forward to total emancipation, forward! Amanda! Bathule nje baziqiniso awule ndawo sikuku.
So President Zuma has elected himself as the King of Kings, because he has decided to go and take the land on behalf of the kings. So when he goes and deliver the land to the kings so that they can get back their power and administer their own people, their own affairs, and have their own budget, President Zuma has elected himself as the King of Kings. All the kings shall salute when they see President Zuma, because he's the one who would have brought back their land from the colonial masters. President Zuma has been anointed by our ancestors to have favor of black people, to be voted, to allow him to listen to him when he talks. He's the only commander whom South African can listen to. He's the one who can start and end the wars in South Africa. President Zuma. Thank you very much, Queen Cynthia Malope. Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. This is the Royal Opinion. Queen Cynthia say, "Oh, royals, I have already missed so much, but I will watch later." Yes, you've already missed a lot. There's quite a lot what we've been talking about previously, but as you say, please catch up. Everybody click the like button and subscribe. The issue that we're talking about the declaration that the MK party has made here, that they support the army government of Mali and the army government of uh, Niger and the army government of Burkina Faso. Floyd Chibambo saying the colonizers, let them dare touch Ibrahim Traore. They are going to see that this is not the generation which allowed Kwame Nkrumah to be killed, which allowed uh, Gaddafi, Muammar Gaddafi, to be eliminated for standing for Africa, which allowed the elimination of Robert Sobukwe of the PAC, who was the true leader of the people, which allowed the killing of Chris Hani by the white system without acting. He says the time for that has already passed. There's a lot of African people, African young people who have risen against the colonial masters. There are colonial stooges like Ramaphosa uh, who have decided, instead of like selling tomatoes like the mothers who stand in the corners to sell tomatoes and onions, he decided to sell the people. That's a highly profitable business for people, for sellouts, like Julius Malema, for sellouts like Ramaphosa, for sellout like Ruto in Kenya, sellout like Tinubu in Nigeria. Those are sellouts governments. The African Union has never stood with the African people. They're always fighting to impress their colonial masters. But Troy Chivambu now saying the era for where white people used to come and just eliminate our people without us reacting has passed. The young people across Africa, the young people even across America, black people across America, across the world, they have warned Americans, but the Americans don't really care about what people say. They will go ahead to implement what they want to implement, because mainly about them, it's about the money and power. How can Ismalema Z? I don't understand. I don't understand this question. Please, Mr. Wefa, please try and rephrase the question for me to understand. How can Ismail Mazet? I don't understand it. If anyone understands it, please help me to understand so that I can actually assist in terms of answering to that comment. So the people like Ramaphosa have decided to sell South Africans. They've decided to go to the market instead of selling products. They decided to sell people because they've run out of ideas. They not necessarily ran out of ideas, they did not even have ideas. They don't have ideas on what they can sell for business, because they only thing they know is selling people. It's a highly profitable business for the house slave. It's a highly profitable business for the slave trader. But how is Malema a sellout? Now I get I get what you are saying. I think is asking how is Malema a sellout? Julius Malema is a sellout. The EFF is funded by and controlled by white people. The He is part of the drama of what is happening. Remember, even now, to give you an example, Ramaphosa has risen uh, tax or VAT from 14% to 15% immediately when he took office. The EFF was in existence. They did not say a word because that benefits their colonial masters. They did not put up a fight against that. The only reason now they are trying to act like they are fighting is because they want to confuse people. Please go through my videos about uh, how the EFF or why. I've got a lot of videos where I explained why Julius Malema is actually a sellout. Julius Malema has refused to unite with the MK party to ensure victory for black people. Now, if you are a person and you have common interest with others, you have to sit down and talk and agree. If you can't agree, then it means there's another person who is invisible, who is basically part of the meeting, but is not there. So Julius Malema was invited to be part of the MK party or to unite like the ATM has done with the MK party. Julius Malema has refused unity of black people. If Julius Malema allows the unity of black people, the freedom of black people would be accelerated. The expropriation of land without compensation may happen as quickly as yesterday. So Julius Malema does not mean when he say expropriation of land without compensation. He wants to take the land. Basically, he does not even want to take the land. They only want to change in the administration that the land now belongs to the government. But the administration still belongs to the same people. When they say they want to nationalize the bank, they don't. Now, Julius Malema says it means establishing a state bank. It's no more taking the banks and making them national assets. So he is a sellout in that regard. He is refusing that black people can accelerate there. But while President Zuma did not go and ask the other organization to come and unite to take over the land of black people uh, because he's unable to bulldoze everything and take over the country alone. He's able to and well capable of uniting black masses besides the sellout leaders. Outside the sellout leaders, the EFF members on the ground, there are a lot of EFF members on the ground who are moving to the MK party. You know, if you can know how Julius Malema treats the people in the EFF, I recently heard him talking about, he was talking in a funeral where he said other people when he came, the leaders of the EFF, when he came there, they told him what they did. Some say I paid 18,000 for the car, I paid this for the funeral, I paid this for this. All of those, they tell the leaders of the EFF tells him, and he was angry that why do they tell him such a thing? But that's what he demand of them, because he wants them to be cash cows. They are basically the cash cows of the EFF. The EFF uses them to cash out money from the state and uses them mercilessly. They also have the EFF public representatives also have a special tax from the EFF itself. So the EFF public representatives are taxed by Julius Malema. They are also taxed by their state, and they are also taxed for the VAT. Those are very special people. Those are the people who experience tax on another level. So if he shows how he's treating the people who are on his side, such cruelty, where he feels that they owe it to the EFF or they owe it to him to ensure that they squeeze themselves out. They squeeze their sweat, squeeze their blood out in order to ensure that the EFF would survive. He's not the one who is going to be able to assist black people. He's a sell-out politician. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the live stream. I want to appreciate all who have recently subscribed. Let's click the like button and subscribe. Let's share the content with others that you think they can find help on such a content. Much appreciated for all those who support the royal opinion throughout. The MK party talking the language of war, declaring that the Sahel cannot be touched, and also locally declaring that the MK party will be going to the streets. The young people of the MK party saying they want the Treasury General to prepare for bails because they are going to the street. So this is what is going to happen. This is what I've been saying, that the black people will not get the land without fighting. So now it's happening, and there will be shortcomings, but at the end, victory is certain. Motherland or death.